kills me. Do you suggest find a turnkey out of state without seeing the property? Another good question. David, you are on fire with good questions. Pretty good for someone who doesn't know how to work Facebook, apparently, since you told me that. Most turnkey buyers that I work with buy without ever seeing the property. You absolutely can do that. You can utilize your property inspector to give you a lot of feedback. Here's a funny story. I think it was I want to say my second turnkey. It is the one of a lot of them that is on a little bit sketchier of a street than normal. And so the property inspector, who I had a relationship with at this point, because he had already been doing some properties for me, he called me after the inspection and he goes, hey, I just want to let you know that 2 prostitutes approached me in the driveway of this property when I was going into the house. And I was like, I said, well, where did they come from? Because I knew kind of the street, and I was like, where did they slink out of? And he said, I have no idea. And but that was feedback for me. Like, if prostitutes are showing up on the driveway, I might have reason to question the street. And sure enough, that street, it's ironic because this property has turned out incredibly profitable, except for a really expensive turnover recently, which was terrible and a good lesson, and don't get bad tenants. But the street is a little rougher, but it's been a really profitable property, and I have no idea. And it's such a good lesson in, we can do as much due diligence as we want, but at the end of the day, we really don't know which ones are going to perform the best. At least in my experience, the nicest one I ever bought was one of the worst performers for quite a few years. And then this one on the sketchy street, fantastic performer for a few years. So you can get a lot of feedback from the property inspector. You can have the turnkey company give you information, tell me about this neighborhood, what's going on in this neighborhood. You can even call a third-party property manager and just kind of fake it a little bit so it doesn't seem like you're wasting their time, but say, hey, think about investing in this property. I'm thinking about maybe using you guys later. What's your feedback? You guys work with tenants in this area. What's your feedback? How rentable is the property? What kind of tenants would I be looking at? So you can gather pretty much everything you need without seeing the property. But I would say for any new turnkey investor or anyone who's never done this, there's so much value in going and seeing the property. Just one of the things that is hard in my position, I guess because I have a conscience, if I ever tell you, hey, this deal looks really good to me, I really like this provider, if something goes wrong, I feel horrible, horrible, I'll lose sleep. My favorite thing in the world is when you guys can go to the provider and check everything out for yourself, and you're not taking my word for it. Not just because I'm selfishly not wanting to stress over anything that goes wrong, but it's just a whole different confidence level. Because if you buy it sight unseen, you're really taking everyone's word for it, whether it's mine or the turnkey providers or the inspectors or whatever. You don't really have a way of knowing for sure how you feel about it. And nothing works better than going to that area, meet the turnkey provider, they'll tour you around other properties. They'll show you pre-rehab, post-rehab. You can just get a really cool feel for what's actually going on and see these things for yourself, because I want you to buy a turnkey because you want it and you like it and you feel fantastic about it. That's my dream scenario. But again, because people aren't buying, they're not seeing the properties before they buy them, they're kind of taking our words for it, and that's fine. And I will only suggest people that I have reason to believe are functioning well. But I think, especially if you're brand new to turnkeys, to just go get the confidence in the process on your own is fantastic. So what I did, I went to Atlanta the first time when I bought the first cute little yellow turnkey, and I met the turnkey provider. I went to tour the properties. I saw that property in particular, fell in love with it. Don't use your emotions in investing, but fell in love with it. And I had every bit of confidence for myself. And what I was able to do after that, because I understood better of what I was looking for, where the properties were, all this kind of stuff, then I could buy sight unseen, no problem. Because when they would tell me, oh, this one's in this area, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that one, that's great. And I had confidence in them. So because their standards were, they did everything the same way for all the properties, I only had to see one to know kind of what the rest of them were all about. Again, you can still get verifications from your property inspectors and all that kind of stuff. But the answer is you can absolutely buy them sight unseen, but I do think if you have any opportunity whatsoever to just go check it out for yourself, I think there's so much value in that, just for you to sleep better at night.